Previously from the Hood Blogger.
Been a folk on the scene, I be running the men, put a gun in your men. You keep rapping, you won't get the thing done in your chin. You see the SB Lord, haters best be more. Young ounces while we on birds like Jeffrey Lord. In the top nipple, chain frozen like popsicles. Put your gant to your waist, make your jack triple. Block nipples, ain't steaming like hot pickles. My side triple, chicks leaving with rock nipples.
Neef Wooden, aka Lil Rucky, born November 23rd, 1981. What a lot of people don't know about Ruck is he was from 12th and Cambria. His mom passed when he was around the age 7. He also got an older sister and 2 older brothers. After his mom passed. Hey yo, this SV Twiz, the Hood Blogger. Y'all know how I carry it, man. Shout out to everybody that been rocking with the content. I really appreciate y'all. All I ask is make sure you hit that like button. If you're new to the channel or a returning viewer and ain't sub yet, bro, hit that sub button. But today, we're going to get into the beef between Spittage and the Young Guns, bro. But before I get into full details, you already know how I carry it, bro. We got to rewind first. Back when rap was very competitional, early 2000s, everybody can get it, bro. So it ain't matter if you really had a personal grudge with a person or if you just wanted to show a person that you was nicer than them. But today we're gonna get into the beef between Spittage and the Young Guns, and I'm gonna let y'all know exactly how it started and what happened throughout the process. Now, if y'all remember, State Prop and the Figures, bro, they had their beef. They was going back and forth. You know, some would say that it was because, you know, Major Figures felt as though State Property had, you know, took the deal that they turned down, and, you know, I guess they felt as though State Property was getting cocky or whatever, and, you know, things just went left. But then again, you know, a lot of people forget about this interview and what Spage say the real reason why, you know, the Figures and State Prop fell out.
All that supposed to be a little drama. I mean, I can remember back when the Best of Beanie Siegel joint was out, it was like you, a Major Figures, Most Wanted, Beanie Siegel, like, all y'all on the joint together.
Those guys didn't break down the door for Philadelphia. We did. We was the stability. We did that, dog. We gave, you know what I'm saying, like I like to call them replacement players, because they took the deal we turned down. They took the deal we turned down, and I'm not mad at them. Live long and prosper. Get yours. But don't walk around and keep hating and popping little tapes and popping little, because we not popping little tapes and you. Definitely not dudes. I'm
saying, how shit salty though, man, because it seemed like you and Beans at least y'all was like good from the beginning and shit.
I'm gonna keep it real. I put out the Independence Day. The young boy, young Chris felt as though was something on there that he thought was toward him. So next thing you know the wrong people in this area, in that area, in this area, and he's in I watched grow up from down here. You know what I'm saying? Me and his big brother was friends. Me and his cousin best friends. You know what I'm saying? We from the same neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? I call his mom when I see her. You know what I mean? But I tune on the radio. All these guys on here rapping filthy.
This right here would start a beef in Philly that leads to even to today, where Cosmic Kev chooses not to play no type of diss tracks and nothing on the Come Up show. So with me saying that is, before Spittage and the Young Guns went through it, you had Lil Rucky that went at the Young Guns, because at the end of the day, the Young Guns and Ruck, they used to go to Grats together. And before the Young Guns had even got signed, Lil Rucky was the hottest thing in Grats. You know what I'm talking about? Nobody could touch Lil Rucky. But eventually, you know, Lil Rucky would pass away, and I also got that story. I'll put it in the description. With that being said, Spade was also discovered Spittage. Now, I want y'all to understand that those of y'all that's not from Philly now, Spade is from Nicetown. You know, back like the Wingahocken area and all of that. And then you got Spittage, who was from the Hollow. Just to let y'all know, the driving distance is like 5 minutes down Wayne Ave, bro. So when they come to the Hollow, that's, you know what I'm saying, Spado's second home. So Spado was always back and forth from Nicetown, you know, to the Hollow and all that. So he would discover Spittage, because Spittage was that guy. You know, back then this was off of word of mouth. So he would eventually, you know, take Spittage under the wing and everything. You know, so I remember back in the day, y'all remember when you know, people was getting the Dickie jackets airbrushed and all that stuff, you know, Spittage and them, you know, in his circle, they was rocking that Major Figure stuff and all of that back then. So it was like a big thing. But, you know, eventually we would also see Spittage on DVDs, and it's a lot of stories of Spittage, you know, pulling up and smoking people. And y'all probably heard Tech 9 talk about Spittage a lot, but, you know, some people don't even realize that Spittage and Tech 9, they actually met and, you know, really became like homies and became basically partners, battling people from them two actually battling. And I believe it was Club Flow, I want to say. You know, Spittage had pulled up there, and, you know, the rappers and all that used to always be battling. You know, it was jumping, and Spittage would go up there, and then they would say, you know, the battle champ is here, but they was referring to Tech 9. So Spittage was like, let me see where he at. Spittage would end up, you know, cooking Tech. After that, Spittage was just going around looking for blood, bro. He came back TM. He was trying to battle Vok. That never happened. This is at a time when, you know, Vok was super lit. So Vok wasn't just battling anybody. But I talked to Vok personally, and he spoke about Spittage, you know, looking for him, but he never got a chance to battle him. Spittage was also close friends with Hollow Man, Paper Chasers. You know, he would go back EA and all of that and be, you know, rapping with Hollow Man. So he had like a lot of relationships, and he was definitely wreck chasing. But eventually, you know, Spade started getting Spittage on those Major Figure mixtapes and everything. And around this time, this is how the beef between Spittage and the Young Guns basically really pretty much took off, because Spittage would take shots at the Young Guns. Around this time, even though the Young Guns and all that was signed, and we all know just from Philly State Prop, they was all cutting through the city, they would still, of course, be back to their hoods. So on that, Spittage would, you know, pretty much get into details, and I guess he took shots. Chris or Neef took shots at the Hollow. So that right there really tipped it off. So when Spittage got on that mixtape and everything and was dissing the Young Guns, it was pretty much going crazy in the city. So one day, it's crazy because Spittage had happened to be back Nicetown one day. You like I told y'all earlier, Nicetown in the Hollow, like 5 minutes driving down Wayne Ave. All you gotta do once you hit past Wayne Junction, you know you right there. So one day Spittage was right around the corner, bro, out Nicetown, where, you know, Chris and Neef, it was the block that they was on. I don't know if it was like Chris or Neef block. All I know is that they happened to be right around the corner from him, and Spittage had came out, and he was like walking down the block. Chris and Neef, they spotted Spittage. When they spotted Spittage, they rolled on Spittage. They actually rolled on Spittage back Nicetown. So Spittage was heated. So Spittage, hurry up, he get back to the Hollow, let everybody know what happened around the Hollow. So once he got to the Hollow, people was going crazy. It was even people that mutually knew the Young Guns, but Spittage had so much love, people was ready to hit a beam. So, you know, as everybody start anteing up and everything and getting around Spittage, like, listen, you know, it's not even that serious. Spittage would see how serious that people was and was ready to rock out for him. But he diffused the whole situation. He was like, listen, bro, it's not even worth it. Let's just get this money. And what did Spittage do? Spittage got back in the lab and eventually had ended up going out Hollywood and had got, you know, offered the deal. And I'm not going to get into full details of the story now. I already dropped that story. I'm going to probably drop that in the description too. So I know it's a lot of new subs and everything, and they've been asking for stories that I had already pretty much dropped. So I'm going to make sure I put it in the description if y'all want to know the full story. But like I said, Spittage had diffused the whole situation, and it did get outside of rap. You know, they had basically bumped into Spittage. You know, the era we come from where, you know, people was throwing fists and stuff like that. You know, you was bound to get rolled on and stuff like that coming from our era. You know, unlike the era of the day, man, where, you know, people was really quick to pick their Jones up first, even though Spittage ended up losing his life to an incident that had nothing to do with that and had nothing to do with him. But long live Spittage, man. One of the GOATs, man. He gonna live forever, man. But this SV Twiz, the hood blogger, and that's pretty much the beef between the Young Guns and Spittage, where of course it was a lot being said on tracks, but eventually it did get outside of rap. Y'all got any more requests, man? Let me know. I'ma drop them joints for y'all. SV Twiz, the hood blogger.